Action! Whoa, what was that with my throat? Action! Oh, welcome to Chapter 7. And where am I, you might ask? For those that can see, I am in my kitchen. There is nothing in my bedroom but a bed. Can you believe that? I'm almost out of here. I'm almost out of this apartment. Only about 25 hours until I'm completely gone. Because, no, 24. A little less than 24. Because by this time tomorrow, I will be at work. And I will not be coming back here because my bed will be gone. I will, in the morning, tomorrow morning, I'm going to move my bed. Someone is going to come at early in the morning and take these lovely couches that have been left by my old roommate for me to deal with. Because why wouldn't I have to deal with it? And so I'm going to wait for someone to come get those at 10 in the morning. And then after that, I'm going to go bring my bed over to the storage unit. And then I'll come back here and probably sit on the floor because this table is hopefully getting picked up tonight. And yeah, and then tomorrow there'll be absolutely nothing left in here except for me and a few of my things that I'm going to be needing for the next week while I couch surf and then go home to Arizona. And yeah, it's crazy. I've been in this apartment since November. Yeah, I moved in November 1st. So that's December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 8 months, people. Lived here 8 months. That's so crazy. Oh my God. Cannot believe it. Yeah. Wow. 8 months. I've been in LA for 8 months. I've been in this apartment for 8 months. And now I'm finally leaving this apartment. Not leaving LA. Oh, no. But I am leaving this apartment. And I'm pretty happy about it. The only thing I'm not happy about is that I have to wait 2 more weeks to move in with Justin. But c'est la vie. I'm also drinking lunch here. I have a smoothie. Even though it's 4:30. It's lunch number 2. Or well, see, I do intermittent fasting. Because clearly I'm a jacked weightlifter guy, and obviously it's working. But I eat breakfast at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then have lunch about 3 or 4, and then dinner at like 6 or 7, and then I have a light snack at about 9 or 10, and then I'm done eating. At least that's how it should be going. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But I don't know. It worked in the very beginning. Maybe I think I'm not as disciplined with it as I used to be, and that's why it's not working as well. But I don't know. I think at this point I'm just used to it. So even if the only time I was eating breakfast before 11 was when I was on set at that movie, and it was so early, and I needed to just have enough energy to get through the day. I would force myself to eat breakfast, so I was eating earlier. I don't know. I'm very excited to when I move into Justin's apartment that I'm going to go on a new plan, a new workout regimen, a new diet or I hate to say diet because it's not a diet. It's just a way to. It's a specific eating regimen that goes along with the workout. It's a 2-month routine. It's got a specific meal plan and to the day, and depending on what type of exercises you're going to be doing, it goes along hand in hand with that. So I'm very excited, and there's been plenty of great successes with this program. I've been following the guy who coordinated it and created it for a while now, Elliot Hulse. He's an amazing fitness person on YouTube. He's got a very successful YouTube channel where he talks about spirituality, bettering your mind, bettering the body. He has a course on non-jobs, and that's having a career based out of something that you've created, things that you find your passion in, and how to turn those into your job and how to make money out of those. So he's become more of that. He's kind of left fitness. Although his channel is still comprised around fitness, he has it's in the middle. There's a lot of both, and he's another great person to follow if you're into listening to things that I talk about. He does that as well. The way he does it is very aggressive, and it's not about yelling. He's just very kind of in your face about it, but in a good way. His way of talking and getting the message through is kind of like he's basically he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? Wake up and realize that your way of thinking is wrong. And I have to turn the camera back on. And he's not trying to bring anyone down. He's just trying to find a way for everyone to see the flaws, to see that there's a different way to look at life and go about life. And just the way he does it is so interesting. And I'm usually not responsive to yelling and people getting in my face. And maybe it's because it's through a screen that it's different. But, a lot of times I find myself really, I can't think of the word, resonating with a lot of stuff he says. A lot of times I find myself resonating with things he says just because of what he's saying. And what he's saying, it goes along the same line of my thought process. So it's very beneficial to me to watch his stuff. And so I would implore you to go and listen and watch his stuff as well. Links will be down below. Anyway, I saw a lot of movies this week, guys. So many movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. I saw 5. I saw a movie every single day. I saw a movie every single day since the last time I did this podcast, last Monday. Except for a few days because I've been moving. And actually I saw 2 movies in one day on Friday. So yeah. Let's just go down the list, shall we? I saw Don't Worry He Won't Get Too Far on Foot, Sorry to Bother You, Leave No Trace, McQueen, and I misspoke last week. It's not Steve McQueen, it's Alexander McQueen, or Lee McQueen. He is a fashion designer, and for some reason, I thought it was about Steve McQueen, but it wasn't. So, just clearing the air. Not that anyone has message me about it. But I'm just saying, it's not Steve. It's Lee. And then the same day I saw McQueen, I also saw Mission Impossible with Justin. And these all these movies were great. And I always find something from these movies. Not always, because sometimes I think a movie is just a movie, and that's totally okay. A movie can just be a movie, and there not be a meaning behind the movie at all. And maybe that's just because I went into the movie not really looking for a meaning, and maybe I found one at the end. And I can't tell if it's recording or not. Oh, I hope it's recording. Oh man, let me take a look. So, it wasn't recording. I'm just gonna keep talking while I fix this. The camera seems to have run out of room, and that's not good. So I apologize for that. It doesn't make any sense. I'll just delete some of the things here. Anyhow, I was saying that all movies don't need to have meanings behind them. And they may or may not have meanings behind them. They might just be a movie. And that's okay. Movies can just be movies for the sake of being movies. The director may or may not have had an idea for a meaning behind them. Most of the time, unless, this is just speculation, and I'm not an authority on this whatsoever, but most of the time, directors don't have meanings. At least this is what I've read and this is what I've heard. But like I said, they unless specified, they have or did not have a meaning. But people are free to choose and make their own meanings out of movies. Like movies are people are allowed to interpret the movie any which way they want. All right, I got the camera working again, so yeah. Sorry about that. Ran out of space. If it's blurry, I apologize. The lighting's different in here, and I'm very far away from it today, so yeah, I can't adjust. I don't know. I guess I could turn on the autofocus, but I never really trust it. Oh well. We'll figure that out next time. But anyway, I found meanings in all these movies that I saw, except for Mission Impossible, because obviously it's just a movie filled with explosions and guns and chasings and broken ankles. But there are meanings in those movies for sure. There definitely is. But I mean, when I mean meanings, I mean like deep meanings. Like in Don't Worry, He Won't Get That Far on Foot, I found that there was a sense of what the character was going through was he was trying to find forgiveness, self-love, manifestations, things like that. Same thing with Sorry to Bother You. There's a lot of different interpretations for that movie with social class, economic equality, workforce and labor, and probably actually racism, and people, governments and companies taking advantage of people. That's the overall tone, but there's deep layers to that. And in Leave No Trace, deals with depression and child development. And McQueen, it was a documentary, so it went deep into Lee McQueen's life. So we could, I can look at like I said last week with the painting, with the Jackson Pollock painting. Everyone can derive their own interpretation of what they feel that specific painting means to them. So all of these movies might have a meaning to me that you and your friends and whomever may not find the same, which is okay, because I feel like anything is up for interpretation unless it is stated as a fact. So, yeah. But let's start with I want to start with the first movie that I saw. Don't worry, he won't get that far on foot. And this was a great movie. I love Joaquin Phoenix, like I said last week. It was a really dark movie. The trailer, that when I first saw it, it looked like it was going to be funny. It was funny. There was moments of funny. I would classify it as a dark comedy, black comedy. And it was a really good movie. Dark. It dealt with alcoholism. It dealt with the repercussions of drinking, driving drunk, getting in a car with someone who is drunk, and then it dealt with it's based on a true story, and it was dealing with this main guy, which I shamefully forget his name. His last name's Callahan. He was a cartoonist, and he was paralyzed. I think he became a paraplegic after getting into a car accident with one of his friends, and he was put into a wheelchair, and he became a cartoonist. But the movie, the whole movie is him dealing with becoming a paraplegic, having to get through it, giving up alcohol. And so I knew nothing. I knew nothing about the steps it took. And they go through, his character goes through AA and the 12-step program. And so it was interesting to me to see this, and they talk about it. And I feel like the 12-step program, after seeing the movie, I feel like that it can be used in your daily life. If you're going through something, I feel like the 12-step program doesn't need to be used specifically for AA. And it's great to be used through AA because it's a set of guidelines that when you're lost, if you have like a checklist, for a lack of better words, is that if I follow these things, then I know that I'm on the way to becoming better. And so for those of us, I should say, who don't know, because I really don't know I mean, I've only just barely looked it up, but for those of us who don't really know what the 12-step program is, I will go through it. And the first step is admitting powerlessness over the addiction. And so the way I see this is we might not have an addiction for those of us who are if you want to follow something like this, use it as a guideline. But, let's say me, for instance, I'm not addicted to substances. But, we might be addicted to gossip or just eating too much food, whatever it is. I don't want to compare the seriousness of alcoholism to very basic, what's the word? Basic things that they're not. It's like apples and oranges. They're different. But I'm just saying this can be used as a guideline for anything, not just alcoholism. So, but the first step is, let's say you want to have a path. You want to start a path of becoming more spiritual, more awake, more conscious, whatever. The idea that I'm trying to get across here is that the first step in anything is admitting to yourself and maybe to other people is that you're not aware of it. And once you become aware that you're doing this or that, then the acknowledgement allows you to receive more, right? So as soon as I say something like, man, I'm very closed. I feel like I'm closed-minded. So as soon as you realize that you're closed-minded or that I'm closed-minded, I am now looking for things to come into my awareness and be able to learn more. And what am I closed-minded on? Am I closed-minded on one specific area, or is it everything except the way that I think? Not saying this is true. That's an example. But this is what I'm trying to get across. So, admitting the thing that is holding the power over you. That one you have to admit that the thing that is not allowing you to move past that is holding you up. As soon as you can acknowledge that, that's when you'll start pushing past and opening up to new and better things. Step 2, believing in a higher power in whatever form can help. And that's the same thing with spirituality. And this is why I'm saying this, is that these 12 steps can help find your path. Listen, you don't have to believe to be spiritual, to be awake, to be fully conscious. You don't need to believe in God. I do, but that doesn't mean I'm a by the book religious person. I find myself to be more spiritual. I tend to, depending on the mood, depending on what I'm meditating on, whoever I'm speaking to, I tend to ask the universe as a whole. I talk to my angels, my guardian angels. It can be whomever, whatever you think. There was a funny moment in the movie where, because the character that Joaquin Phoenix plays he grew up Catholic but resented the Catholic Church. He asked if his higher power could be I forgot. It was the movie took place in the 60s or 70s. So he asked if it could be, it was a famous actress, if it could be her snatch, is what he said. And the guy, his sponsor, didn't approve, but he said if that's how you can relate to a higher power, then fine. So as long as you find something and see something or feel something that is higher than yourself and others, then that's okay. Because I mean, this is a hard thing to, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't believe in, or have a hard time believing in a higher power, right? But that doesn't mean there isn't. That doesn't mean there is. There is, I don't know. I feel that there's something out there, and whether it's an entity or something, there's something there, right? We didn't just poof show up one day. Scientists can't even figure out how life still was created. But I'm saying, even Eckhart Tolle, he's not religious, but he refers to his higher power as the universe, or what was it, the being, or I forget what it was, but he talked about the universe as a whole is his higher power. And so step 3, deciding to turn control over to that higher power. And so here it's saying that to give your mind to that higher power, so that you're not tempted to consume that addiction again. And, even here in spirituality sense, by opening up to your higher power, then you have a better chance of allowing yourself to receive more from the universe, to become more conscious, to open your mind to learning new things, learning about yourself, learning about others, learning about the world around you, and becoming connected with people more. Step 4, taking a personal inventory. I'm not really sure what this means. I can only kind of speculate on it, and what I think it means, my interpretation is taking a personal inventory of what are my beliefs, how conscious am I, how am I living day to day, what things am I doing to make myself better, what things am I doing to make others better, and am I doing it from ego, am I doing it am I doing it without expecting things in return? A lot of times we do things because we feel like there needs to be a give and take, but I think that's the problem. People think that if I do this for you, you have to do that for me. But why can't we just do this and do this and do this and not expect anything in return? We don't always need to get something back. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what that one means. Moving on. Step 5, admitting to the higher power, oneself, and other person the wrongs you've done. I don't know. This one could work. Yeah, for sure. So in the movie, let's see. I'm gonna keep asking the higher power to remove those shortcomings. Okay, so step 5, admitting to the higher power, oneself, and other person the wrongs done. Step 6, being ready to have the higher power correct any shortcomings in one's character. Step 7, asking the higher power to remove those shortcomings. Step 8, making a list of wrongs done to others and being willing to make amends for those wrongs. Number 9, contacting those who have been hurt unless doing so would harm the person. Okay, so those steps, I think, to me, they all kind of fall into the same category. For me, like I said, I know nothing. Maybe I'm being a piece of shit talking about this because I really don't know. But the only reason I am talking about this is because in the movie I connected with the character and how he was changing his life, how he was becoming more open to receiving things, and how because of his sponsor, who he was, helped him change his life completely around. And so this just made me want to explore this more and see, like, because I felt that there was a connection to these 12 steps and to spirituality, becoming more awakened and conscious, and in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5, there's a sense of forgiveness, and that means, like, self-forgiving and forgiving others. And I've gone through this. I've had friends and family members that have done hurtful things to me, and I have done hurtful things to others. And you have to forgive people. You have to forgive people if they've hurt you, because you're just going to go on through living life holding grudges and always thinking about that, like, wow, that person really fucked me over, or wow, that person really made me mad that one time 5 years ago, and I don't know, I just can't forgive him. But why are you holding on to that? Why are you letting that sit there in the back of your head and festering like some dark, just gross darkness? You're just sitting there, always festering, and one day it's going to eat you. And if you let it sit there, if you let that beast sit there, and if you just keep that thing caged, one day it's going to break out and it's going to eat you. Trust me. It's going to fucking get you. And you're going to be mad that you didn't kill that beast. Let me tell you, you're going to be mad that you didn't climb up those fucking steps to that tower and slay that dragon. I'm telling you right now. The sooner you forgive the people that wronged you, whether you want to talk to them or not, you don't have to talk to them. It'd probably be better, though. But as long as you sit here, not here because this is my spot and I'm moving, so unless you're moving in here, you can sit here. As long as wherever you are, as long as you think about the person that wronged you, imagine them in your mind. You know what I want you to do right now? Close your eyes. Think of the person that wronged you. And say that person's name and say, I forgive you for everything that you've done, and I love you. Do it. And you better mean it. And now how do you feel? You might feel awkward a little bit, right? Because there's no one there and you're talking to yourself. But I want you to keep doing that. Keep forgiving the people that have done wrong to you. Eventually, you'll forget about it. And then you're like, why was I always thinking about that? It was so stupid. And if you want, call up that person. Write them a letter and say, hey, I forgive you for doing this and this. And whether they receive it with animosity or they get mad at you, what are you going to do? Everyone's always going to be mad at someone for something. But you have to forgive everyone. You have to love everyone unconditionally, like I said last time. Or the time before that, I forget. But that's what's wrong, is that people are always angry. They're looking to be angry. There's not enough love going around. And so let's change that. Be the first person. Call up someone and just say, I love you. and mean it. Apologize to someone and say, I'm sorry for doing this. Forgive yourself. Love yourself. That's the most important part. Love yourself. I said it last week when we were talking about 8th grade. Love yourself. Please. I don't know if I talked about it last time, but I grew up a chubby kid. I definitely talked about this, but I've had a hard time losing weight over the years. I still have. And I would look in the mirror every day and say, you're a fat piece of shit. Every day I would look at myself without my shirt. And sometimes, whatever, especially if I didn't have any clothes on. I would look at myself and say, ugh, you're a fat piece of shit. And I would continue to get heavier. The only time I ever lost weight without, was when I went on a strict diet. But then I gained it back. And I would say those things to myself. But at the second I started saying, I love you for who you are, no matter what. The second I started saying, I love you for who you are, and no matter what you do, is the second I started losing weight. The second I started becoming happier and actually started putting on muscle. And everything is a mindset. Everything starts with a way of being, and it all comes from how you think about living. If you keep thinking hate, that's all you're going to get. If you keep thinking love, that's all you're going to get. What we put out comes back tenfold. If you throw a ball in the air, it's going to come down. If you throw a 40-pound weight above your head, it's going to crush you. If you throw a sack of love, if you throw that was a bad analogy. If you throw all your love up, that way, left, right, back, below, if you throw love in a 360-degree radius, guess what's going to come back? Love all around. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want a 360 degree of love versus a 360 degree of hate? I mean, come on. We need more love. It all starts with yourself. I fucking love myself. I love who I am so fucking much. I really do. I love who I am. I love who I've become over the years. I love where I'm going. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. All I know is I love it. I'm fucking excited. I'm excited to see where I'm going. And I'm excited for life. I love everything about it. I really do. Even the days that seem shitty as fuck, I love those days because that means the next day is going to be even better. Because then I can come home and think about why was that day shitty? And then I can go, oh yeah, it's because that happened. How can I fix that tomorrow? And then I fucking fix it. Man, fuck. This is why I stopped smoking weed. I used to smoke weed, not a lot, occasionally, and then as I moved here, I started smoking more, just because it's illegal, it's everywhere. And I don't know, maybe I thought I needed it, but now I don't, because I feel fucking. I'm high on life. It's a stupid fucking saying, but it's so true. Right now I feel like I'm higher than I could be on weed. But I don't get the brain days. I have this body high, like, I'm smiling, like, from ear to ear. You know? This is so much better than lighting a bowl and just not like because the difference with how I'm feeling right now is that I can get up and walk around and go do whatever I want to do and still have a great day and not be in 20 minutes have to go to sleep. Why would you want to go to sleep? Yeah, sure, you might be having fun. You might be laughing with your buddies. You might be having a good experience, but you're going to start, shit. You know? It slows down the motor functions. No matter what you're smoking, indica, sativa, you're going to crash at some point, and I'm not. I'll crash when I go to sleep because I'm tired. But fuck, I'm so fucking happy. Anyway, let's get back to this. And then, so after step 9, we got step 10, continue to take personal inventory, admitting when one is wrong. Step 11, seeking enlightenment and connection with the higher power via prayer and meditation. And 12, carrying the message of the 12 steps to others in need. I mean, this is what I've been saying. I basically already said this just now. We have to always take accountability for the things that we do. Always take accountability for how we're acting and behaving, and how you're thinking. Always take accountability. If I'm thinking, if I'm happy and then all of a sudden I'm mad, I'm thinking negative thoughts. I'm thinking like, oh, this is not going to go that good. This interview is going to suck. I'm not going to get the job. Like, you know, like as soon as you start thinking that, that's when the bad shit starts to happen. So we have to quickly snap out. And always meditate. Always try to better yourself. Always try to learn. You know, and then help others. This is to have others open up to being spiritual or being open to the universe or what have you is one of the hardest conversations I've ever tried to have with someone, because a lot of time people are just glazed over. They don't get it. They think you're crazy. They think you're about to talk about religion, and everyone perceives whatever you have to say differently than the next. Like it's the same thing with the painting. The words you say can be taken out of context because one person's mental, the way that they think about certain things won't be able to resonate on your frequency than someone else. So you might be able to look at you might have 2 or 3 people here, and this person will get every word you're saying. This person will kind of understand, but this one will think you're fucking nuts. And that's just how it is. But you also have to find a way to make them understand, get on their level, tune your frequency down a bit to have them understand a bit more. And then as time goes on, they catch up and they're like, holy shit, this is what I've been missing. And that's just how it goes. As time goes on, people will just eventually figure it out. And we just got to be here to help them. Man, I'm sorry if I offended you, anyone with the 12 steps. I really didn't mean to take offense, to make offense. If you did take offense, that's okay too. Take offense. I'm not here to belittle or make fun of or discredit anything. Everyone has their own beliefs, and everyone has their own way of dealing with things. I just saw a connection to what I'm trying to talk about, and I wanted to compare it. It was just a little study I was doing. So take offense, don't take offense. That's that. Let's see. Sorry to Bother You was a freaky movie. You know what is weird these days is how they're marketing these movies. Like, sorry to bother you. Like it was one of those movies where I was like, I could take it or leave it. And I saw it because obviously I have Movie Pass, and so I just see all these movies. But it was one of those where I wasn't very sure about it, and then as I'm watching it, I was explaining to my my friend Steven, another director friend of mine, and I'm gonna have to hold the microphone down here. I hope you can hear me. But I was saying like it's like if here, watch this thing. We want you to watch this, and then bam, bam. They're misdirect. That whole movie was misdirection every second, and I'm not sure if what I thought of it. I liked the movie. It was definitely different. I don't want to talk about it too much because it'll give away a lot of things, but it definitely dealt with social class. Definitely dealt with the working class and poor class, and it was a very intriguing movie. It was they tried to make it lifelike, but also it was removed from reality, and it's that kind of threw me a bit when I was first watching, and it kind of took me a second to get back into it. I didn't mind it, but it was kind of like a little jarring, and then brought me back because they're like you when the movie started, you're like, okay, this is kind of how the world of the movie's gonna go, and it's like, wait, okay, that's weird, and this is also okay, that's also weird. Okay, so this is how the movie's gonna go. Oh wait, no, okay, yeah, I don't know. So it was a roller coaster, but I liked it. I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend a lot of these movies that I would see. There aren't too many movies where I'm like, nah. I mean, it might be a rental. I wouldn't like if you don't have Movie Pass. I wouldn't rush to go see it in the theaters. There's plenty of great movies, especially this month that's coming, August, that are coming out. So we can move on to the next movie, Leave No Trace. This one looked good, but it kind of fell flat to me. This is also another one I wouldn't rush out to see. But it's about a father and daughter that essentially are homeless, and they're living in a national park, and they've built like a life for them where they like hunt and gather, and they live off the land. And then they're found out and have to be put into civilization, basically, and the father can't really cope with it. So it's a struggle between the daughter and father, and how like the daughter wants to live in real society and the father doesn't because of his past. And then the ending just kind of for me falls flat, and I was left a little disappointed. But it was a really interesting story, and I liked how I really liked the movie and how it was going, but the ending, I don't know, some of these movies can't get these endings right, and to me that's a shame. But yeah, I mean, it was very slow. Let's put it that way. There was not a lot happening. It could have been like 20 minutes shorter, 30 minutes maybe. I'd wait to rent it if you're gonna watch it. I don't know, peeps. I'm not a movie reviewer. I mean, technically this makes me a movie reviewer, but I'm not a professional. Let's just say that. I just talk about the movies I saw. Which I guess that makes me a movie reviewer. Oh. And then on Friday, I started my morning off with Sing McQueen, which was a great documentary. I knew nothing about Lee McQueen. His work is phenomenal. Jarring, mouth dropping, eye popping, mind fuckery. His clothes are just they're incredible. I mean, they're in museums now, and this movie goes through his entire life, his work, like it explains his work ethic, his childhood, and how he became so successful. And I forget how old he was when he died. I think he was only in the fashion industry for like, I want to say 10 to 20 years. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe he was a lot older than I think he was. It didn't give it an age. I just know he started when he was 20. And maybe he was like in his 30s. I don't remember. But it was a really good movie. Very dark because of who Lee McQueen was. He had a very dark mind, and his clothes had to dealt with a lot of darkness and things that were happening in the world, and he just amplified that darkness. And he was depressed and he wound up doing drugs. But it was great. I love documentaries, especially recently. I'm watching a lot more documentaries than I have in the past, and this was a really good one. I love watching documentaries about artists and filmmakers and people that have changed the world and changed certain industries for the better, and how those industries have affected life and also other industries. And then later that day, I saw Mission Impossible with Justin, and that was just a fun movie. That was just a great action, like I said, action explosion, broken ankles, fights. I mean, who doesn't love Mission Impossible? It's like the American James Bond. So, I mean, they're always good. They're not the best movies, but they're fun. And I had fun. I was laughing. I was cringing. I was hoping that he wouldn't die, even though he's the main character, and he'll never die because he's the main character. But it was one of those movies where you're like, yes, ooh, ha, ha. And definitely see it if you haven't. It's a good way to end the summer, one of those movies. Although I don't think the summer really ends until the end of September or August. I don't know what the calendar is. But it was great. It was a good one. Yeah, and that's my list of movies, and just been moving, and yeah, I'm trying to get rid of some of this furniture. My phone's blowing up right now with people on OfferUp or Let Go or whatever this app is. Gonna go to the gym in a bit. It's Monday. It's chest day. I hurt my neck last week. On Thursday, I hurt my neck doing deadlifts. I was working out with Steven, and everything was going good until I did a deadlift, and when I was pulling the weight, it wasn't my heaviest. It was one rep at 340 or 360, and as soon as I put the weight down, I was like, my neck. And it just hurt. It's not excruciating. It's just stiff. And like by the end of the day, it's fine. And then I go to sleep, and I'm like sleeping on it, and it puts a lot of pressure. And then I wake up. I'm like, fuck, my neck hurts. And then I have to go through the day again. It's like Groundhog's Day with my neck. And icing it, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I gotta go get it looked at. Maybe I need a massage. So yeah, and I'm working. Luckily, the work that I'm doing right now is not. It's not like intense PA work. Although I am a PA, it's just through an event company. So I'm basically working for this company that puts on events for companies like Netflix or Amazon or places like things like that, and I basically help check in people that are coming to the event, or I usher them which way or that way, and so it's nothing taxing on my neck, so that's good. So doing that tomorrow. I'm gonna go to the gym tonight and see how it goes. If it's too much, I'll stop. I don't know. It wasn't like I wasn't being smart. It just, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. I did push myself a bit. I was like, I want to hit this weight, and the rep before it was already heavy, and I was debating whether or not, and I kind of went, fuck it, and I shouldn't have. So that was my bad. That was me not listening to the omens, me not listening to the signs, and kind of just being clumsy there. So the next time I work out and I hear, maybe you shouldn't do this, in my mind, then I won't do it. So yeah. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up. My thingy says 56 minutes. I'm gonna have to edit it down because there was a moment in time where I was trying to fix the camera. So we're probably at like 50, 55-ish. But this was a good one. Yeah, and I don't know where I'm going to be doing this for next week. Probably either at Justin's apartment. I'm going to see if I can stay with him. Or I'll stay with my another friends. I don't know. But, yeah. I got to figure that out. And, yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thanks for living and loving with me today. I had a good time. I really did. Today was a good one. It was different. I've never like read stuff off the computer like that. I don't know. I'm feeling iffy about the 12 steps thing. I don't want to offend anybody, but hey, I can't please everybody. It's honestly it resonated with me, and I'm putting it out there. Yeah. Anyhow, check me out on Instagram at Harrison Burger. Check me out on Twitter at Harrison C Burger. Follow the podcast on any place that you watch or listen to the podcast. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, Castbox, and there's a couple others. I forget their names. Honestly, it's probably everywhere that you listen to podcasts. And if it's not, let me know. I'll try to put it on that place that you like to listen to podcasts. And subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to my art channel. Last week I put up a drawing of Wolverine, and this week I think I have another Wolverine. I don't know, or maybe something different. I don't know. Anyway, subscribe to that, and like, favorite, share, and subscribe. Tell at least one person about this podcast if you liked it, and comment, leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite part is. Tell me if you want me to talk about something specific. If you have questions, if you guys want to ask me questions, tweet me questions, leave me comments, and I will answer questions on the podcast. I'll do it at the end. I'll do like a little question and answer if you guys want to do that. And there goes the camera. Let me see if I can get it back on really quick, But anyway, I hope you guys had a good time, and thanks for joining me. And I love each and every one of you so much, and I appreciate you listening and watching. And until next week, I'll see you later. Cut.